It is week 3 of the Diddy trial, and Mia had one hell of a day on cross-examination. Hi, I'm Melba Pearson, also known as the Resident Legal Diva, and it is time for another Daily Diddy, bringing you daily trial updates from the Diddy trial every day until we get a verdict. So Mia, who is the person that was testifying under a pseudonym, who was a former employee of Diddy's, was back on the stand again today for the third day. Now, she had been testifying last week, and today she finished off her cross-examination, which was being conducted by Brian Steele of the defense. She talked about how she was terrified and brainwashed, which is why she didn't come forward earlier about her allegations of sexual assault against Diddy. And Steele, of course, kept pressing her on all that because his goal was to kill her credibility and basically leave the impression that she made all of it up. He pressed her on saying, hey, didn't you have a moral obligation to report the sexual assault? And she said, no, I didn't, because I was terrified and brainwashed. She basically said it was only after other people came forward with their stories of assault, especially Cassie, is when she felt comfortable in coming forward and saying something. She talked about how it was a long process and she's been in therapy, but she was really pushed on all the friendly text messages and posts that she had made about Diddy or to Diddy over the years. Basically, the defense was like, if you were so scared of him, why are you posting all these glowing things? And she said, well, listen, I was scared of him the entire time that I knew him, and that if I acted right and did everything he wanted and everything he said, I wouldn't have an issue. She admits that she never told Cassie about the sexual assault because she just wanted to die with that information. Just heartbreaking. Now, interestingly, the prosecution objected to the way that Brian Steele was crossing Mia. They said that basically all the questions were just designed to humiliate her, that they had no real value. Interestingly, the judge agreed, not necessarily that the questions were wrong, but just his tone was very belittling. So the judge was like, I'm gonna keep an eye and intervene if I need to. So food for thought there. So Mia also talked about how she had covered for Diddy and felt horrible about it, that there were tracking devices on Cassie's car, that Cassie didn't quite know that the relationship was an open one. She thought that they were exclusive. Diddy clearly didn't think so. And so that kind of fueled a lot of drama in their relationship. She was also pressed on the fact that she had asked for $10 million as part of her lawsuit around the labor allegations. But remember, she only walked away with $200,000. The defense also made a big deal about the fact that she did not talk to the prosecutors about the sexual assault allegations until about 7 or 8 months down the line of her having conversation with prosecutors and after she had hired an attorney. Again, at the end of the day, it's something that she didn't want to talk about. She was humiliated, and obviously it took time to build a relationship with prosecutors to feel comfortable enough to reveal the darkest moments of your life. Also, Brian Steele kept hammering her on the video in which she had said happy birthday to Diddy. It was like a little bit of a longer social media video. But again, she gave the context of everybody was expected to post. This was my job. If I didn't post and didn't post something funny and happy and smiling, I would be in trouble and I wouldn't be safe. He also talked about the fact that she went on to work for Madonna for 8 months, kind of showing that Diddy didn't destroy her potential of getting a job in the industry and she wasn't blackballed. The defense also went after other projects that Cassie worked on, again, trying to show that, hey, her career was not stunted by Diddy. But you still can't get away from the fact that she was in a 10-album contract with Diddy and only one album got released, plus a mixtape. So there's that. Again, lastly, the defense went after Mia about the message where she had written that she was going to kill herself after being fired from working with Diddy. But again, she owned it and explained, like, listen, my life was upside down. I was brainwashed. I couldn't see a way forward. Even though it was a bad life, it was the only life that I knew. However, on cross as well as on redirect, she doubled down on her testimony that Diddy had threatened to kill her, that he sexually assaulted her, that he had physically assaulted her, and that she was terrified and had to do everything in order to keep herself safe. She said, because when he was happy, I was safe. That is huge. before she got off the stand, she was asked why she even went through this, why she even testified. She said, because I can't look my niece or goddaughters in the eye in the future if they happen to be in the situation and not testify. So that wrapped up her testimony. Next up was Sylvia Oken, who was the area director of sales and marketing for the Beverly Hills Hotel, who testified that Diddy would check in using an alias. Not uncommon for celebrities, but could also be evidence of, I'm going to conduct some criminal behavior. So there's that. Next up tomorrow is Eddie Garcia, who was a supervisor at the LA hotel and where all the filming happened when Cassie had gotten beaten back in 2016. He, of course, invoked his Fifth Amendment rights. So once that was done, the prosecution was like, yeah, as long as you testify truthfully, you'll be fine. So he's going to be first up tomorrow. So I will be back with more updates. See you tomorrow. Bye.